William Faulkner, winner of the 1949 Nobel Peace Prize in Literature. William Cuthbert Faulkner was born in New Albany on September 25th, 1897, and moved with his family to Oxford as a child. He made an indelible mark on American letters by bringing a modernist literary sensibility to storytelling about his native South. His representations of class, race, history, and the land set in the fictional Mississippi county of Yakna-Ptawapa are drawn in vivid detail in novels such as Sartoris, The Sound and the Fury, As I Lay Dying, Light in August, Absalom, Absalom, The Hamlet, Go Down Moses, and others. He won the Pulitzer Prize for a fable, whose outline is penciled on the walls of his office here at Rowan Oak, and The Reivers, published in the year of his death. In his Nobel Prize acceptance speech, he observed that the human heart in conflict with itself is the theme of all good writing. Faulkner died July 6, 1962. So this is the Mississippi Writers Trail and William Faulkner, a literary legend. What's going on, people? This is P9 coming at you from Oxford, Mississippi. Oxford, Mississippi is a college town in the northeastern part of the state, and it is the county seat of Lafayette County. This is Oxford, Mississippi. Now, just to give a little brief history of Oxford, it was founded in 1837, and just like multiple cities in America with the same name, Oxford was named after the city in England, or the district in England called Oxford. So this is Oxford, Mississippi. And now I'm over here by a bookstore called Square Books, as I'm gonna make my way around the circle around downtown Oxford. So Oxford itself, again, it's a college town. So this makes Oxford the 14th most populated city in Mississippi, with a population of 25,000, so a little over 25,000 people. And a lot of that population, again, are college students who attend the local college of University of Mississippi, also known as Ole Miss. So it's still pretty cloudy, overcast day. with temps at approximately 75 degrees. Actually it's 67 degrees right now. And it's a little after 9 o'clock. But they're going to be, as you would expect, there's going to be a lot of stores that are going to be college themed. So this is a college themed store. It sells merch and everything that pertains to Ole Miss. So quite a bit of mom and pop stores over in this area. Right over here, that's the Lafayette County Courthouse. So the way the streets are situated in this downtown area, it's pretty interesting. It's like a couple of diagonal streets, but the street pretty much forms a circle around the courthouse. Goes another store with Ole Miss merch and souvenirs. So here's a marker that goes into the detail of Oxford, Mississippi. It was a city that was chartered in 1836 on Chickasaw Session land. Oxford was named for the university town in England and became home to the University of Mississippi, aka Ole Miss, in 1848. During the Civil War, Generals Grant and Sherman met in Oxford in 1862, and the square and many homes were burned by Union troops. And Oxonians, I think that's how you pronounce it, suffered the yellow fever epidemic of 1878 with other Mississippians. In 1962, riots accompanied the integration of Ole Miss as it became the first integrated university in the state. Since then, the city has worked to build a more progressive community. The first presidential debate of 2008 was held at Ole Miss. Nobel laureate William Faulkner, U.S. Supreme Court Justice LQC Lamar, Secretary of the Interior Jacob Thompson, scholar FAP Bernard, scientist physician Arthur C. Guyton, MD, and best-selling author John Grisham has called Oxford home. And I'm pretty sure they have telephone booths like this over in the UK, in Oxford. So I wonder if they kind of do, like, if they kind of modeled the city after Oxford over in the UK as far as the architecture and everything. This is the City Hall, established in 1885. We have a little bookstore called Square Books Junior. It's like a bookstore for kids, for little children. Yeah, this does kind of have, like, I've seen pictures of Oxford in the UK, and it does, Oxford, Mississippi does kind of have similar architecture. I find pretty cool, you know. That street over there is kind of on a slope, on an incline. Not the right way. We go this way. Again, this is the Lafayette County Courthouse, which was renovated and repaired in 2023. It's a nice looking building. Yeah, I guess they have to have one of the most daunting places to go. They got to make sure it looks nice and neat. Check this out. It's a marker right here. Talks about the lynching in Lafayette County. Of course, being that this is Mississippi, Mississippi has a vast history when it comes to lynchings. And for decades, African-American men were lynched by white mobs in Lafayette County. Most of these men were lynched because of interactions with white women, which were characterized as inappropriate or assaults. These allegations against black people were rarely subject to serious scrutiny. Instead, mobs frequently pulled lynching victims from jails, often facing little to no resistance from law enforcement officers who were legally required to protect them. On July 12, 1885, a white mob kidnapped Harris Tunstall from jail and hanged him behind the Methodist Episcopal Church near the Oxford Square. On November 13, 1890, a mob interrupted Will McGregory's trial in front of a magistrate and shot him to death before hanging his body near Orwood. A mob hanged an unknown black man on September 2nd, 1891, after kidnapping him from the Oxford jail. Less than 2 years later, on July 30th, 1893, a mob lynched Will Stein near Paris because of rumors that he was boasting about an affair with a white woman. See, yeah, that's the thing that's so infuriating, excuse me, about all of this history, because a lot of these black men were lynched and deleted because of allegations. Nothing that has been, you know, allegations are just that. They're just allegations. Nothing that is concrete. No concrete evidence or anything linking them to any type of inappropriate interactions with these white women. But again, that's the history of what was going on during that time, you know. This is, keep in mind, this was Reconstruction. This was after the Civil War. And, you know, and when all of these incidents took place. Lafayette County Courthouse. The original courthouse was burned in August 1864 by Union troops led by General A.J. Smith, of course. Judge R.A. Hill secured federal funds to construct the present courthouse, which was completed and occupied in January 1872. So this is the front of the courthouse right here, which boasts the Mississippi flag and the U.S. flag. So let me keep going. Yaya's frozen yogurt. Okay, okay. Right here is just a bulletin board with a bunch of events around the community, and apparently every Tuesday year-round they have a community market between 3 to 6:30 p.m. I like farmers markets. But today's Thursday, so they don't have it, but that would have been pretty cool to come check out, you know? Okay, they have the Blind Pig Pub and Deli right over here. Misbehaving. So they have a couple of pubs and yogurt shops and clothing stores along this stretch of road as well. It's pretty cool. They have like a little alleyway. So parking deck over here. So it's just basically for the city parking deck. And there goes a Lafayette County building over there. This is the Oxford Creamery. So it's an ice cream parlor. It's not open yet because it's still early in the morning, 9:30 to be exact. Rosati's Authentic Pizza. So, you know, this is now you start to feel the college town vibe around this part, because you're gonna see a lot of restaurants and pubs and bars and things of that nature, places that college students generally frequent. As I'm now at the corner of Jefferson Avenue and Lamar Boulevard. Now again, Lamar Boulevard is the main drag through downtown Oxford. Guess this is an apartment building right here called The Graduate. Benny's Kitchen. This was called McEwen's. I wonder what they serve here. Fried green tomatoes, mussels and clams, sesame encrusted tuna, grilled salmon. Sounds pretty fancy to me. It's a lot of clothing stores downtown Oxford. And of course, every small town has to have a theater. This is called the Lyric Theater. It's a nice white brick building. Pretty nice exterior. Oh, they got a taco shop called the South Depot. And I love tacos. I'm on Van Buren, at the corner of Van Buren and South 10th Street. And on Van Buren, at the corner of Van Buren and South 1st Street, is this building right here. It's a historical building. It's called the First Presbyterian Church, which was founded in 1837 by early settlers of Scottish descent. Present church was built in 1881. Church home of many community leaders and 3 university chancellors, Waddell, Fulton, and Hume. 4 pastors have served nationally as Presbyterian General Assembly moderator. And then it has a Bible verse on there that says, "My house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples, And that's Isaiah 56:7. So they have Sunday worship here at First Presbyterian Church at 10 a.m. Memorial Day weekend through Labor Day weekend. So here's a historic First Presbyterian Church. They have a bakery over here as well, and they have another building was called the Ritz. So there's the bakery right there on the right and the Ritz building right here on the left. But that reaches the end of the Oxford, Mississippi downtown tour, but there's more from Oxford, so stay tuned. Here I am at beautiful Rowan Oak, built in, I'm actually on the property of Rowan Oak, which sits on 4 landscape acres. It's a museum, and it was built in the 1940s in Greek Revival style. And Rowan Oaks is surrounded by 29 acres of woods known as Bailey Woods. So as you can see, all those woods over there, that's Bailey Woods. But the actual home is called Rowan Oak. Originally owned by the Shegogs, who lived in the home from 1844 to 1872. And the Bailey family purchased the home and resided there until 1823. And it sat unoccupied for 7 years up until 1930, when it was purchased by famed author and writer by the name of William Faulkner. If you are really into literature, you are familiar with who William Faulkner is, I'm sure. But he wrote a series of short stories based on Lafayette County, where Oxford is located, and he won a Nobel Prize for his work. But he's one of the most celebrated writers in American literature history. But this is the actual property, Rowan Oak. Again, it was built in the 1840s in Greek Revival style. So as you can see, this is the property right here. Now, William Faulkner was so brilliant that he literally created his own county, which was called Yakna Patawpa County. I think I'm pronouncing that right. But this was the setting in his short stories. So William Faulkner lived in this home, and when he purchased it, he renamed it Rowan Oak after the rowan tree in Scotland, which symbolizes strength and solitude. So, there's the interior of the building, which which people can go in and tour and take a look around. But I'm exploring the exterior, and this is the backyard of Rowan Oak, as you can see right there. And check this out. You can tell this is how old this property is, because this looks like like a cottage, like a log cottage or something of that sort. But it's on 4 acres of land, so it's a lot of space back here. I mean, if you owned a home on 4 acres of land, you had it made. I mean, back then, I mean, you have it made if you have 4 acres, a home on 4 acres today. But yeah, it looks like a shed right over here. But yeah, this is Rowan Oak. Now this is perhaps the biggest historical site that's in Oxford, the biggest attraction, you know, outside of course of the Ole Miss, if you want to consider a college campus an attraction. But I wonder what this building is right here. This brick structure. So when you have 4 acres of land, that means you have a lot of land to build other structures. Yeah, this is like another house, another home, pretty much. I don't know what it was used for, but it's like a house on a house. So you could build on multiple like acres of property. You can build a big house, and then you can build smaller homes, I guess. You know, you could build a little smaller house right over here. As you can see, the porch and everything like that. And that door right there is padlocked. So I'm not sure what it's used for today, but this is the property of Rowan Oak. Hey guys, I'm outside of the University of Mississippi campus, aka Ole Miss. And this university was established as a public research university here in Oxford in 1848. So I decided, why not give myself my own personal tour of the college campus, since I am here in Oxford. Now, Mississippi, the University of Mississippi, is the oldest public university in the state of Mississippi, and is the state's second largest by enrollment, which I would presume is behind Mississippi State University. So the Mississippi legislature chartered the university on February 24th of 1844, and 4 years later it admitted its first 80 students. So during the Civil War, this campus operated as a Confederate hospital and almost got destroyed by the Union forces led by Ulysses S. Grant. So this university has a lot of history, and it is now 175 years old. It's approaching, actually it's 180 years old now, because it was established in 1844. So yeah, it is now 180 years old. So in its 180 years old history, it's a lot that has happened in this university. This is the David Nutt Auditorium. And the first African-American student to be admitted to the University of Mississippi was a brother by the name of James Meredith. Of course, that was met with a lot of resistance by segregationists during that time. But he pretty much, being that he was the first African-American student admitted here, there was a riot right here on the campus, a race riot. But due to the ongoing fight of the civil rights movement during that time, you know, that movement and, you know, James Meredith pretty much ushered in the integration of this university, which, by the way, was the first university to be integrated here in the state of Mississippi. But so far, just getting back to the present moment because I can get lost in history, this is a nice campus. Right there is the Gertrude Ford Center, that building over there. And this here is the Rose Garden, as you can see. And this sculpture is called the Mentor. So it seems like a lady, older lady, mentoring two students. And this sculpture was by, or the sculpture was by a sculptor by the name of Jane D. Decker, given by Sally and Jim Barksdale. So this is in the part of the campus called the Rose Garden. As you can see, there goes the sculpture right there, and it's surrounded by all these beautiful plants right here. Hotty toddy. Okay, hotty toddy, is that their battle chant? But yes, this is Ole Miss University. Let me go this way actually, because I see something over here I want to check out. And by the way, the University of Mississippi has a hospital that's located in the state capital of Jackson, which is also a city I would like to do a vlog in the near future. I like to vlog in state capitals, so I definitely want to put that in the works. A visit to Jackson. So this building right here was once known as the University High School. So University High School was established in 1930 and was a co-op enterprise between the University of Mississippi and the city of Oxford to establish a model demonstration high school and teacher training program. This was one of the first such programs in the nation and the first public school under the sole direction of a university. Funding for the building was provided by the Mississippi State Legislature. Initial operating funds were made available by the city of Oxford and a donation by the General Education Board of Oxford. So from 1930 to 1963, the school offered special incentives and programs for the superior student. UHS graduates have distinguished themselves as political, military, educational, medical, religious, and business leaders. So yes, this was once a high school, but it is now a university building, as you can see right here. And they did that a lot. In some cases, yeah, I believe they still do it, where they have universities that host or that house high schools on their campus. So I always thought, so that sounds pretty cool. I don't know, I guess right over here, I guess this may be the practice field for the Ole Miss football team. I believe that's what that is over there. And I don't know if I mentioned this already. I don't think I did, but the mascot for Ole Miss is the Rebels. And they compete in the SEC conference. And this looks like right over here, this is the ballpark for the Ole Miss baseball team. See if I can get closer. But yeah, this is the baseball park for the Ole Miss Rebels baseball team. Looks pretty nice from this vantage point. And it is called it's called Swayze Field. So it's Swayze Field. It's pretty much like Patrick Swayze, but it wasn't named after him, but it's spelled the same way as Patrick Swayze. And again, it's home of the Ole Miss Rebels college baseball team, who most recently won the NCAA title in 2022. So It is actually named in honor of Tom Swayze, who was a former Ole Miss baseball player and coach. And this stadium has been up since 1988, so 35 years ago. But it was expanded in 2003 and 2009, so it's had 2 expansions since it had opened up 35 years ago. So I got my blue on, so I figured it would be fitting that I get into this shot. But I am now over here at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium, still on the campus of Ole Miss. And this stadium was opened in 1915, so we're talking almost 110 years ago. And its most recent expansion and renovation took place in 2016. But this is Vaught-Hemingway Stadium, which with its expansion in 2016, it is now the largest stadium in the state of Mississippi, with a capacity of just over 64,000. And it is nicknamed the Vault. And I just want to get a few images over here. As you can see over here, this image has Run DMC on it, but it's an image from the Ole Miss versus Tennessee game, November 14th of 2009. This image, it looks like it's from Ole Miss versus Mississippi State University, so a cross-state rivalry. This was on November 29, 2014. And for all you Indianapolis Colts fans, you might recognize this brother right here. He was a former wide receiver in the NFL. His name was Dante Moncrief. And this image is from the Ole Miss versus Mississippi State game. Again, another cross-state rivalry. It took place November 24th, 2012. So it was around Thanksgiving of 2012. And they came out on top in that game, 41-24. So they have a series of gates. One called Carter Family Gate, Spencer Lee Family Gate, the Douglas Family Gate, Reary Family Gate, and Prefontaine Family Gate. So there's a series of gates named after families, apparently. Here comes the interior of the stadium. Looks like they're doing construction work on this part of the stadium. And this is on the east concourse of the vault, so I'm not going to go too far in there because I don't want to interfere with anything. But this right here is the Walk of Champions. As you can see right here. And one of the all-time legends of Ole Miss by the name of Jake Gibbs was not only an All-American quarterback and third baseman for the Rebels, he also served as head coach for his alma mater's baseball team. As a senior in 1960, Gibbs finished third in the Heisman Trophy race and was voted SEC Player of the Year while leading Ole Miss to a share of the national championship for the second straight season. Okay, not bad. He was selected most outstanding player of the 1961 Sugar Bowl after scoring both Rebel touchdowns in the 14-6 win over Rice. So this is a guy right here who had a slew of success, Jake Gibbs, and also he played baseball. He helped Ole Miss claim 2 SEC conference titles in '59 and 1960, while earning all SEC and All-American honors. And he has a .384 career batting average and is still among the best in school history in that category. After graduating from Ole Miss in 1961, Gibbs enjoyed a 10-year professional baseball career as a catcher with the New York Yankees, and then a 19-year run as Ole Miss baseball coach. His teams won a pair of SEC titles in 1972 and 1977, and made 2 appearances in the NCAA tournament, including the 1972 College World Series, while racking up a career record of 485 wins, 389 losses, and 8 ties. A native of Grenada, Mississippi, Gibbs is a member of the College Football Hall of Fame, Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame, Ole Miss Alumni Hall of Fame, and was also honored as a 2006 SEC football legend and SEC baseball legend in 2014. So obviously Jake Gibbs is a legend here at Ole Miss. I mean, he played 10 years with the Yankees. That's pretty darn impressive. And the hottie toddy cheer. Okay, so I was right. That is like a battle chant. But universities have cheers. Ole Miss has hottie toddy. It's a feeling, ideal, fight song, prayer, verbal handshake, and way of life, all rolled into one. Like that revered statue imploring us to never quit, hottie toddy encapsulates the spirit of Ole Miss, whether yelled on the way to a stadium before a game or said to someone wearing an Ole Miss shirt as you pass them in the airport. Okay, so this was according to this marker right here, this plaque, William Puffner Thompson Jr., class of 1993, and this plaque was donated by the class of 2017. So yeah, so that's what the hottie toddy means. That's the story behind that. I remember I saw that on that banner earlier, and I was like wondering what that meant. And here's just here's some plaques right here that list a lot of the legendary athletes who put on a Ole Miss uniform. As you can see right here, women's basketball down to football, men's golf, rifle, soccer, fast pitch softball, men's and women's tennis, men's track and field, men's cross country, and women's track and field, women's cross country, and volleyball. Got to get them on there as well. Women's tennis in 2017, 2018. So these must be all the teams that won championships. As you can see, 2018, 2019 baseball team, men's basketball, women's basketball, and football. I know y'all recognize this name right here, DK Metcalf. But this is really neat though. This is really cool. They have pretty much every year. Seems like 2014, 2015. Got volleyball. I think you guys get get the idea. It's so many to name, but Pretty sure you guys get the idea. This is the Walk of Champions. So if you're ever in the area and you want to check out the college campus and you're into sports, come check out the Walk of Champions. You get your you get a pretty much a history as well as a Hall of Fame presentation of all the athletes who were famous in the day of Ole Miss sports, athletics. I want to see if I can find Eli Manning. Oh, he's somewhere over here. There you go, right there. Alicia Nelson Eli Manning, who two-time Super Bowl winner for the New York Giants, in all likelihood going to the Hall of Fame in the NFL. But yes, a lot of athletes played here at Ole Miss. A lot of legendary athletes. They even go back as far as the 1940s. Wow. 1930s as well. 1920s and the early 1900s. They have it all. Like they're doing some construction over there. But they have a school of pharmacy over here. Research center called Thad Cochran Research Center. And this building over here is called the Duff Center, as you can see right here. So it's a building for science and technology innovation. So they do have science and technology offered here at Ole Miss. And here's the namesake of the Vaught Hemingway Stadium, is a statue of him, John Howard Vaught, Ole Miss head football coach from 1947 to 1970, and another stint in 1973. But yeah, this is him right here with the fedora and the suit, holding the football. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos, you know, that was commonplace back then. You know, the coaches would just dress up in a suit, fedora, and you know, nowadays, you know, you don't really see coaches do that anymore. You might see them on the sideline with a polo on, or in Bill Belichick's case, a hoodie. But back then, you know, the football coaches were more formal than they dressed up in games on the sideline. So I just thought I'd point that out since I saw that statue. But yeah, this is an athletics training facility. So for all the athletes, they come over here and do their training. That's another athletic facility over here. It's called the Sandy and John Black Pavilion at Ole Miss. I'm gonna get over closer up in just a minute. I want to get this statue over here. And this is a brother by the name of Coolidge Ball, who attended Ole Miss from 1970 to 1974. And he was the first African-American student athlete at Ole Miss. As you can see him right here. So he was the first African-American to play any sport at Ole Miss, not just basketball. As you can see him right here dribbling with the right hand. He played for 3 seasons, and he also received a scholarship to Ole Miss. So shout out to Coolidge Ball, who was inducted into the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame in 2008, and also the Ole Miss Athletic Hall of Fame. And as mentioned before, this is the Sandy and John Black Pavilion at Ole Miss. So this is the stadium, or an arena rather, that is home to the Ole Miss Rebels men's and women's basketball teams. And it sits right across from this building over here, which is called the Haley Barber Center for Manufacturing Excellence. So they had a manufacturing building over here as well. So Ole Miss has an array of programs for students, whether it's technology, medical, or the manufacturing sector. And this building right here looks relatively modern. This building actually opened in 2016, and they began construction on it in 2014. But yeah, I'm just over here outside of the building. And right here is just the builder circle. So it just has a list of all the contributors to the building of this building. The Lloyd family, also Eli Manning and his wife were contributors to this building. And here comes a plaque of Coolidge Ball. Just wanted to get this real quick. And he was actually from Indianola, Mississippi. So he signed the last available Ole Miss basketball scholarship that was offered during that year. And he was recruited by several other schools, but his decision to attend Ole Miss opened the door for future African Americans to make their way to the Oxford campus to wear red and blue, not just in basketball, but other sports as well. So he earned an array of honors, including all SEC conference honors from leagues coaches in 1972 and 1973, and also earned honors from the SEC and the Associated Press in the same years. So he was also the all SEC freshman team in 1970 and 1971. So he played on the varsity squad for all 3 years while attending Ole Miss. So during his varsity career, he scored over 1,000 points and helped lead the Rebels to 3 straight winning seasons for the first time since 1936 to 1938, and was one of the team's most respected players, earning team captain and MVP honors. So as I mentioned before, he was inducted into both Mississippi and Ole Miss Athletic Hall of Fames. So, you know, he definitely left his mark on Ole Miss. So I'm gonna be honest, this is the first time I heard about Coolidge ball, but I'm glad I did this vlog over here on the campus because it was Coolidge ball on the athletic side of things, and on the student side of things, it was James Meredith who set the tone for African Americans as far as, you know, being admitted into Ole Miss and everything of that nature during that time. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna conclude the Oxford, Mississippi vlog right here. But I just wanted to let you guys know I appreciate you guys. The channel is growing, so I want you to keep, you know, checking my videos out, keep supporting your boy. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video, hit the like button. And with that in mind, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more content as I keep on staying along with the consistency. Now with that in mind, you guys, thanks for watching, and see you guys on the next video. Peace and have a great day.